Hello everybody, it's WebFox, and I'm going to be doing a top 9 list for the things I want to see in the upcoming Sonic and Mega Man comic book crossover. Just as a disclaimer, I have not played the video game Project X Zone, so probably a few things I've mentioned has happened in that game. But these are things that I've yet to see personally and would think would look awesome or somehow connected to the comics that are coming out this summer by Archie Comics. Number 9 is a sort of a group thing of reappearances of Sega franchise that haven't been popped up in a long time or too recently, such as Code of Dolphin, Virtual On, Jet Set Radio, Streets of Rage, Vector Man, and Virtua Fighter, because I think we need to see Virtua Fighter versus Street Fighter. Now, I'm sure that there's plenty of franchises from those two companies I'm not thinking about at the moment, and others that people will want to see in this big old crossover. But these are ones that just popped in my head and I just have a history with. Now moving on to number 8 of the top 9 things I want to see in the Sonic and Mega Man comic book crossover is Resident Evil characters and monsters versus House of the Dead characters and or monsters. Now I know that this could have easily been number 9, just part of the group thing, but I got a few other numbers of certain franchises that in particular stick out to me, and I have certain reasons that I want to appear. And for these two franchises to take the number 8 slot is because I'm a big zombie fan. I think that almost anything could use zombies in one way or another. Not everything, definitely not everything, but a lot of things can. I would really like to see how these characters and or monsters interact with each other, teaming up or beaten down. And the reason I got this at number 8 is because there is a major influx over the past many years of zombie stuff. So I think that having this right here on the bottom rows is for the best, since there's a lot of zombies and a lot of things. Zombies is definitely not something I want to see in a Sonic game or comic book, but this is a big old crossover event with Capcom and Sega. So if they just had their own side story, I think it'd be pretty cool, even though I doubt we'll see much of it if they really did do it. Number 7 is I want to see Wreck-It Ralph in this. In his movie, he had a bunch of Capcom and Sega characters in it. I figure with a bit of sweet talk with Disney, they might be able to get him in 1 or 2 panels, maybe in one big group shot in the last issue. He's number 7 because I just want him to make a cameo. He doesn't need any speaking lines or anything. I was a little sad he wasn't in the Sonic Sega All-Star Racing Transform game comic book adaptation, but that was a bit pushing it, so I don't know. I'm just sort of hoping that Capcom, Sega, and Archie would say, hey, let's just borrow him for 1 panel, maybe 2, maybe for the big group shot that they'll probably have on one of the last issues. Doesn't have to do anything, but as it showed in the Wreck-It Ralph movie, that he has a history and friendship with these characters. Number 6 is Sonic X. They're jumping around between alternate Sonics and Mega Man universes, so we're getting a big old crossover here of those two franchises mainly, along with a whole bunch of other Sega and Capcom stuff. I like to see Sonic X return in comic book form. Yeah, I know the show isn't really that good overall. The story is a bit dragging and a little nonsense. The dubbing is really not that good at many areas. The translations from Japanese to English is not good. And Chris, the main character, Kid, is one of the worst things ever to happen to Sonic fans. Archie did expand on the whole Sonic X universe with a 40-issue running series of Sonic X comic books. Originally it started out as a 4-issue miniseries. It expanded to 40 issues. It expanded, explained, and filled in a lot of stuff that wasn't dealt with in the TV show, and had a lot of fun things and some pretty good artwork, some good writing. Several funny moments, so it was like a little Sonic Boom before the actual comedy of Sonic Boom came around. The last issue of Sonic X ended with a bit of a crossover where Shadow from the main Sonic timeline came into the Sonic X's timeline and then left again to start off the first issue of the Sonic Universe comic book series. As nice as it would be to actually for Archie to print out that 1 issue of Sonic Underground to finally wrap up the storyline, I like to see Sonic X return at least just a little bit, because they have yet to reprint any of the issues, and I am still missing 1 issue in the whole 40-issue collection. So, just having Sonic X come around is just sort of a little nod to what Archie has done to expand the Sonic universe in a different way. Number 5 is anything Shenmue related. He hasn't been in much Rio, I'm going to say, from the Shenmue series since, I guess, Sega All-Stars Racing. where he was a playable character. And supposedly in the PC version, he's an unlockable character, but that's just the PC version of the Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed game. But besides that, there's nothing. And it's been confirmed quite a few times that there is no Shenmue 3, and looks like there never will be. If they do Shenmue 3 as a 2D side-scroller or a top-down RPG, I think I would probably be okay with it, as long as it finishes the damn story. But if they have a Shenmue-related story arc in the Sonic and Mega Man crossover that doesn't close it, because I doubt they'll be able to do that in such a short amount of comic, but if they just reference it and show that there's a progress from point B to C, B being the second game and C being the eventual conclusion, I would be satisfied to see that there is still hope out there. I know that they'll never make a 3, but that at least there is hope, and people are sort of pining to get closure on that. Number 4 is Burning Rangers. Now, Burning Rangers is my favorite Sega Saturn video game, and it's a franchise that's been grossly underrated. It's only been in one game. They've only had one game. I'm pretty sure there wasn't any toys or anything. And even when the game was brought to the US, it was printed in very limited quantities because it was at the end of the Saturn lifespan, I do believe, and that there wasn't many people looking forward to the Sega games. I love the game Burning Rangers, the graphics, gameplay, the storyline. Rewatching a video of some of the cutscenes, which are beautifully animated. The dubbing isn't quite good, but some of it is. The game has amazing replay value, where different hallways and doors open up depending on randomization of when you play the game. First time you play it, everything is the same as it is, but after you beat all the levels at least once, you can go back and things get randomized. And you even get passwords at the end of each level to replay that level in the certain maze of passages you take to get through it. I enjoy the characters, they each have their own backgrounds. The music is awesome. It's a fun little spaceship minigame. These guys are basically the Sega version of Power Rangers. And there's even connections to Nights in the Dreams, where two people you get save are the kids from the original Nights in the Dreams video game. And I'm pretty sure that the boss in the second level is also the boss, one of the levels from Nights in the Dreams. The only thing I've ever seen Burning Rangers appear in was a little corner of the Sonic's pinball party, where you just see the faces of the two main characters for 1 second, and then they flip away to show off other characters that actually do appear in that game. So that isn't really worth the Burning Rangers just to have a little picture. They need a whole tables or a whole new games, sequels, a remake, maybe a little anime. Just have them in this comic would be great, because they only do good things. They put out fires, rescue people, and put down bad robots. I mean, the reason that I have it higher than Shenmue is that at least Shenmue has appeared physically in other games. But Burning Rangers only had the one, and also the teeny corner cameo appearance in the pinball game, which you see on the title screen, and that's it. Number 3 thing I would like to see in this Sonic and Mega Man crossover is the continuation of the Nights in the Dreams comic book done by Archie back in the 90s. So in the 90s, to help promote the Sega Saturn and the Nights in the Dreams game, Archie did a 3-issue series of comics to cover the first Nights game. Looking back, the artwork is pretty odd, but I do like the way that they give the nightmares a personality, more background on the whole two worlds and the history of the humans and the creatures that live in the dreams. Then the series continued for 3 more issues, making it a whole 6-issue series. The second half of this series has Knights living in the real world, while nightmares are still causing trouble in dreams, even with their big leader destroyed. And in the real world, there's humans that are doing their own evil schemes that correspond with the nightmares. If that series stopped at 3 issues, I would understand, but they continued for 3 more and left it on a cliffhanger, revealing that there is a lot more going on. Even though that they stopped another nightmare, there's still evil schemes afoot. I think Knights is probably still stuck in the real world. I forget, it's been a while since I read it. Now, I know Knights is going to be in this crossover, but he looks like that he's going to be the Knights from the Wii game. So will this Knights be connected anyway to the old Archie stories? Or will we be seeing a new one? I hope he's connected. Maybe he could bring us some closure. I think that's up to Sega, unless Archie doesn't want to retread old ground that they hope that people may have forgotten. I mean, this is so high on the list because Archie did this before, and they show that Knights is coming back, so I don't see why not that they somehow be able to get a couple story elements in there, or maybe another Knights issue to help just close off that old story. This is something that they have done and they can do, so do it. Number 2 is Mega Man Legends. I like Mega Man. I guess I like Mega Man X. There's only 3 Mega Man games I've beaten. Mega Man 8, Mega Man Legends, and The Misadventures of Tron Bonne. I played a few others, and they are all hard. I mean, Mega Man 8 was pretty hard, but at least I stuck with that to get through it. But it was Mega Man Legends, along with its prequel Tron Bonne, that really had Mega Man stick with me. I liked the characters in there. I liked the art style, the story, the world. The voice acting was quite nice. I enjoyed the universe of Mega Man Legends. I want to see that in comic form. It was because of Mega Man Legends that I've kept my ear to the ground about Mega Man items. Sure, my heart broke when Mega Man Legends 3 got canceled, but then again, I haven't really played Mega Man Legends 2 yet, and I still don't have a 3DS, so it's just sad that they canceled the universe. I just wish that I could just see more of that. I have Misadventures of Tron Bonne and the first Mega Man Legends. It's just the Mega Man Legends 2 is not only hard to find, but when I do find it, it is pretty expensive. I started reading the Mega Man comic, like issue 1 and 2, because it was on sale at a comic book store, and I liked the artwork. The writing was alright, I guess, at the time. And then the whole first Sonic and Mega Man crossover happened, and so then I quickly started catching up on all the Mega Mans, and I am really enjoying this Mega Man. I'm not so sure how they're doing about X, but I'm sure that they could work it out. But we're having multiple Sonics and Mega Mans in this next crossover, so let's have Mega Man Legends. That is one story that I really want to see. As a mini-series, or maybe another comic that spins off, or it could be side stories in the back, slowly building up till they actually start doing full issues of Mega Man Legends. I want to see Mega Man Legends. Retell the original stories, give us some more background, and then expand. Who knows, maybe Archie could get some notes from Capcom on what they were doing with Mega Man Legends 3 and actually finish that in comic book form. I really do like the Archie Mega Man, and I'm sure that all the Mega Man video games are good in their own way, but it is Legends that I care about. It's the one Mega Man I really do want to see, and since they have 2 others, I don't see why not they can't get this guy, so this is why it's so high on the list. And the number 1 thing I want to see in this Sonic and Mega Man crossover is spin-off comic book / video game. I mean, they had a Mega Man vs. Street Fighter video game for the anniversaries of those 2 franchises, which was initially a fan game. So I don't see why somebody can't do a Sonic vs. Mega Man game. Have Mega Man go up against Sonic friends, and then Sonic goes up against random robot masters throughout the Mega Man series. And as for spin-off comic books, have a Tales of Sega and or Capcom comics that continue or expand the franchises that's going to be in the crossover. Let's think, we'll probably get a 3-issue miniseries of Skies of Arcadia, or 2 issues of Nights into Dreams that could actually close off that old Archie storyline. Let's think how beautiful an Okami comic would be. Have a series that continues with these other game franchises. They don't all have to be connected together, or each franchise gets their own long-running series, but it could be an anthology series where every couple of issues would cover one game, and then another issue or 2 would cover a different game. No callbacks are needed to the Sonic and Mega Man crossover, just maybe to their actual games, unless you're retelling the game stories. I mean, Panzer Dragoon's going to be in this crossover. How cool would it be to see more dragons in comics? Archie has been amazing with Sonic over these past 20 years, and how loyal it's been to the Mega Man franchise, it is just amazing. So if a fan game can be made by either Sega or Capcom of Mega Man and Sonic, that would be great. But if the 2 companies could just please let Archie continue telling awesome stories, bring in new writers, bring in new artists, try out people and formats, I think that it'll just be amazing. The companies will be getting the faces of their video games out there, while Archie is just publishing more stories. Who knows, it might not be long till we see Jughead lost in the world of Ghosts and Goblins, and Archie trying to work his way around the world of Billy the Hatcher. If the spin-offs do happen, they might not last long, but I think that it'll be fabulous. Those are my top 9 things I want to see to come out of this Sonic and Mega Man crossover, Worlds United, this summer in 2015 by Archie Comics. It appears to be one of the biggest video game crossovers ever, definitely the biggest in comic book form. Thank you for watching.